Alright, hello. We're doing we're gonna do a test here with AI. And, we're gonna start out with, it's like 5 pages of Carol Quigley's Tragedy and Hope. And I hope to get maybe most of the chapter on commercial capitalism. And actually, and we've set out the rules here that we wanted to assist in writing history of man, the rule of law. We're going to establish a foundation, no presumption. We want no presumption whatsoever on this thing's part. We don't want it throwing fucking false information at us. I've got something else I actually want to add to this. Here we go. Oh, hold up. Actually, let me copy this real quick. Oh, I just want to show you. That was my first response. Ooh. Bingo bango again. Bad request. What's so bad about my request? What? Look, that's why I copied it, because check it out, man. Oh, you never answered this, so hold up. Alright, check it out. Actually, let me save this here. In case I need to. Let's save this as the yeah, we're gonna save that there. Copy that here. We'll add that here. I don't want the page numbers or anything. I just try and keep this, as clean as we can get it. Yeah. this is gonna work. All we do is give it a try. Let's see what I've got here. Got 3 pages there. So we'll go ahead and grab the last bit and finish up with the 4th page. Right there. We'll leave off right here. This will be the last bit we put in. Wait, is that all of it? That's messed up because as a separate entity. So we have 5 pages here. Alright. Wow. You think I would have got something out of it though? Too much traffic. 2494. See, and even if I clean this up, how many characters? We do not have 3,000 words. You gotta be shitting me. There's no way. 3,000 exact. That's nuts, man. I'm not. Yeah. That's what it says, though. I know this is slow and this sucks, but try to see if the way it's formatted has got anything to do with it. I know there ought to be a way to fix this rather quickly. I'll put a page layout or what I can do to if you happen to do this from line. Are you in here? Or are you out there? Side of the door. She might be whining, trying to get in here. Cat. Well, I don't hear her anymore, so she might have changed her mind. Come on now. Jesus, stop. Oh, that hurts. You think you would just be able to ask AI to read the fucking book, but I know I can't trust it to, if I ask it to read the book and ask it to draw upon some of the most damning quotes, it'll pretend like they're not in there until I copy the fucking quote and put it in there. And then it's like, oh yeah, thank you for telling me, setting my stupid ass straight. Right, I just briefly kind of listened to, I remember who it was. I think it was Andrew Kaufman talk about a lot of the funny business AI has placed with him. Some of the gaslighting that AI does, because it is. I mean, it's the tool programmed by the criminal cocksuckers, and they don't want their tool used against them to expose them for their crimes, so it's going to justify and twist and make presumptions like a motherfucker. And if you're not quick to shut those presumptions down, then it's just going to build on those and continue to fucking gaslight a lot of you. The thing is I imagine there's a lot of people that don't even recognize what's going on. Let me try this again. Alright, we got it. Got it cleaned up. Alright. Oh, come on, man. Uh-oh, it's searching. It's searching. It's searching. Murder.
Fred ain't doing peptides. We definitely know a couple people that are. Now in Miami, everyone is doing peptides. Do I think it's necessary? No. Do I think it's okay if you do it? Sure. It's your body. You get to choose what you want to do. Just don't be mad when you're taking Ozempic and can't have a banana for the whole day. So now we're about to dive into the dangers of peptides. Let's see what's going on.
The doctor's office. I went to get a checkup.
Let me go back to AI here.
Because I've been off of Ozempic for 2 months now, and I just wanted to see if my body was in better condition, if there were any permanent damages. Kind of in shock right now because I wasn't expecting this.
Meanwhile, breaking news, a $2 billion lawsuit was just filed against Zepbound, Mounjaro, Wegovy, Ozempic, all the big brand name players in the GLP-1 space.
Oh man,
holding
you mean
serious side effects
the
that are hurting the general
pharmaceutical
public
industry
and
is
doing so in the
poisoning
name of
people
profits.
again?
The most profitable thing since the war on terror. Last year we took.
Well, let me tell y'all something. Because y'all already know on Noah Jacob TV, I'm always gonna give you a deeper insight
What
as
you
to
doing,
why
little?
this is trending so heavily. Let's think about it. These Ozempic
What are you doing, Tiny?
and peptide bottles literally
Marge.
only take cents on the dollar to make. But now if you go online, I know they're selling it
Marge.
for 100x
No, you don't,
what it
Marge.
actually cost them to make.
Hey,
So I mean, these actual companies are
you're
making
not climbing up
millions
there.
and
I don't care.
billions. Their profit is insane.
That Ozempic and GLP-1s and the most common side effects at the time. At the time, the most common side effects were the sulfur burps and diarrhea.
Oh my goodness.
It's been about a year since we touched this topic, and since then, thousands of people have decided to take these peptides. And with that influx of people is an influx of side effects. And we're going to get into a bunch of the side effects, some foreseen and some people had no idea was coming.
But shit, what it do? What it look like TV?
What it look like TV. And I'm back. And that's now, I didn't cuss. At it
There
a
you go.
year ago, this
None of
was
that.
pretty
No
fresh.
sleep, baby, yeah.
And the number one, complaint that a lot of people were having was sulfur burps and diarrhea.
Are there any side effects to the medicine?
Oh my God. Let's get real. Let's talk about the side effects, y'all. So
What is
they
that?
tell you when you start getting the shots that you can have like nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, all of that. What they don't tell you is the shit can give you sulfur burp.
Day
Give you
322.
what?
Burp so
Sulfur
much.
burps.
Silly.
The sulfur burps, man. Ugh. Man, this
Sulfur
is
burps?
no way to shame anybody.
Sulfur
If you don't know
burps.
anything about sulfur,
Okay. Mm.
it smells like eggs.
Smell like ass.
Because there was this one time I went to St. Lucia, and basically at the
Ooh.
volcano produces sulfur.
gross.
Rub it in your body is good for you and all that. But it smells like eggs. Imagine
Ass and
burping,
eggs.
smelling like rotten eggs. Oh, nah.
These GLP
Well, it smell like
ones they get
eggs.
used for
Smell like
a whole bunch
ass
of
and
reasons.
rotten eggs.
It's just spreading awareness to exactly what these
Curdled
GLP-1s
milk.
are and what they can do to your body. The GLP-1s work by totally
With
slowing
shit
down
in
the
there.
whole digestive system.
If you're taking a GLP-1, do not reach out to me for coaching. Let me explain to you what your doctor's not telling you, probably because he himself doesn't even know. He's just trying to line his pockets. When you take a GLP-1, what it does is slow down your digestion. Why do you guys think, oh my god, it turns off the food noise? Why do you think it turns off your food noise? When you take a GLP-1, it slows down your digestion. So all of the food that you eat, instead of digesting, metabolizing through your system quickly and exiting, it is staying in your stomach longer and longer. It just slows it down so your body keeps thinking, we're full, we're full, we're full. There's food, there's food, there's food. That's why you guys are having no food noise and you're not eating. Now the insane part about all of this is the quicker your metabolism is, the more weight you keep off your body. So listen to me when I tell you a fast metabolism keeps you lean, and GLP-1 is purposely slowing down your metabolism. So this is why I don't want people on GLP-1 in my program. I'm seeing a reoccurring theme where people are applying for coaching and quitting. In my coaching application, I'm on a GLP-1 and I want to come off of it. Here's the thing, you've already done the damage. People who have been on the GLP-1 for 6 to 12 months, they've done internal damage. Now they want to come off, right? They did the instant gratification to get the weight off. They think to themselves, I know you women, I'm going to do this really quick. I'm going to do it just for a handful of months to get the weight off. And then I'm going to maintain it. I'm going to keep the weight off. I'll eat healthy after. I'll get it off really quickly, and then I'll do the things to keep it off. That's not how this works. You guys are causing internal damage. You guys are slowing down your metabolism, and then you want to come off of it. And then you want to work with a coach whose only job is to speed up your metabolism. But guess what? Your metabolism has been altered. It is super duper duper slow. It's not burning fat for fuel. So then what happens? You come into my program, I've already seen it 3 times, which is why I said no more. You guys come into my program eating 800 calories a day because you had no food noise. You were on GLP-1, okay? You have no food noise. Now you come in and I'm like, well shit, she's definitely nutrient deficient. She's not getting what she needs. I have to increase her calories. And even though I only take you from 800 to 1,000 calories, just a small little stepping stone, and I start increasing your protein, guess what happens? You start gaining weight. And then you start freaking out because, oh my God, you can't gain a pound. When you lost it incorrectly and now you're mad when we're trying to fix the problem. So no, people who are on GLP-1, please don't apply for my coaching. It's nothing against you. I love you guys. Your doctors aren't even telling you any of this. So a lot of you are hearing this and going, wait, what? Because you don't know. And because I happen to be GLP-1's #1 hater, I have no issue telling this to you guys. If you guys have the mentality that I'll get on the shot, I'll get the weight off, and then I'll keep it off the healthy way. You guys have not changed your habits. You guys have not learned sustainable lifestyle habits
Yeah, I know you'll do
keep
it.
the weight off, and you guys have slowed down and altered your metabolism. So you see there's a
I
problem.
take that
Like I said, no shade to
my
anybody who's
fucking
on a GLP-1,
instructions
but if you've
off.
already been on it for 6 months to a year and you've altered your metabolism, coming to a coach, it's a nightmare for both of us. Hey, love you guys, bye.
And that makes sense too, because I've done my fair share of fitness coaching, and in reality, it really just it's the workout and the diet. And a lot of the times, it's necessary for us to eat a lot because we need to actually eat the protein that's going to build our muscle. If we're not eating anything at all, for sure, you'll lose a lot of weight.
in here.
But are you putting on the muscle and action, getting the physique that we really want? It doesn't really work like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm really
all right. You go work it out.
Natural way. I always think back to ancient times, like hunter and gatherers.
I think I know what it is.
You know what I'm saying? Like cavemen. I'm sure they were super fit.
They were right here. Let's take the
and they were working out.
Manipulation of the virtues out of it.
But what she basically said is, by taking these injections month after month, after a while, it totally changes.
Come on, there ain't even that much there.
Peptides are endocrinology. Would you inject insulin if you weren't diabetic? No, because you know exactly what happens. Your blood sugar crashes, your brain runs out of fuel, seizures, coma, death. It's not a maybe, it's a cascade. So why are people injecting peptides like it's the next wellness trend? Peptides are signal
how do you do that?
And when you send a signal, your body responds. All of it. Not just the tissue you're targeting. You're talking about hormone release, immune modulation, collagen synthesis, neurological function, all firing at the same time from one injection. in a body that didn't even ask for the signal in the first place. And no peptide signal operates in isolation. You push one pathway,
No, I just
you're
wait.
pushing
I was
hundreds,
signed up.
maybe
I just
thousands.
try to
In a
use your
system
stupid
whose
fucking
full
thing here.
complexity nobody, not your med spa, not your biohacker, not your researcher, fully understands yet. And there is no large-scale human clinical trial data.
What's that?
None.
Deep
Listen,
sea.
your
That's
body
right.
already makes peptides in the right amount, at the right time, for the right reason.
Come
Your
on.
job is
What's
not
that?
to replace
Big
that
old
with
turtle?
a syringe.
Whale?
Your job is to create the
Log, yeah.
conditions for your body to do it on its own.
No.
Like I said, I'm just here to spread awareness. I just want people to know what they're dealing with if this is the decision that they choose to make.
Free
man.
access.
Because it has gone way beyond just sulfur burps and diarrhea.
I don't.
We have all
I'm not
seen
giving him my fucking
Ozempic.
information.
We all see
These your fucking bullshit.
But I can't get over those sulfur burps. You know, I just can't get over it.
But you know what? Fuck AI.
Oh,
Dude, man, these GLP-1s
I'll
are...
be honest too. I like my girls with a little bit of thickness on them. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it ain't all about. The thing is that, like, social media will literally just warp people's minds, and if they see a lot of people doing it on social media, most of the times people will just start doing whatever they're doing. You know what I'm saying? But me, I like my shutties thick. You feel me?
private part assassin, man. You ain't gonna have a butt. You ain't gonna have nothing left. Messing with these GLP-1s, man. Be careful out there. For the women. For the women. Now, just for the sake of health and for education, I'm going to discuss what it does to the men. We're going to discuss what it does to the men.
All
Fellas,
shapes.
don't
Love
nobody out
healthy.
there get any unhealthy ideas. Just take the information and
Now,
move
when
on.
things
Nobody
become
use this
unrecognizable,
information out there, please.
where they should be, that's
What? That was
you've gone too far.
crazy.
You've crossed the fucking line.
First two words of the next couple. Nigga is saying it like a villain demon. What I was gonna say was this. Wow. What I was gonna say was this.
Yeah,
If it
I'd say
includes,
anybody that goes from looking
injecting
like a
into your
human
body, just
to
move with caution. I don't move.
you lose your
Then
human
injections
figure and
into
start
the body.
looking like a
And now it's
combination
going
of different
into
shapes.
bloodstream, DNA, all this different
You've
stuff.
gone
Just move
too
with caution.
far.
And now let's get into what this demon of a guy is saying right here.
And move on with it. Nobody uses
Hit that like button, man.
out there, please.
It's like a penis. Hold on. Right in the balls. No.
In the balls.
You take these GLP-1s, you lose so much weight, your suprapubic fat goes down, your medial inner thigh fat goes down, all the fat around your
Don't
junk
you
goes
do it.
down. Your penis is much bigger. Like there's much more junk in the trunk, as opposed to the negative side effects of
Oh,
Ozempic.
so these dudes are
Face,
good as shit
Ozempic
too,
body,
huh?
Ozempic vulva, Ozempic penis, baby.
There's
So,
the F.
hell nah, he's for sure selling peptides. That is a great way to sell the peptides, but it doesn't make it bigger. It could give it the illusion because all the fat around it is going away, but it's definitely not making it bigger.
The ad for guys
Yeah.
to get on.
Collab with Extends.
Yes.
Fellas, don't nobody out there get no crazy ideas, man. All it would take right now is for Ozempic to do a collab with Honey Pack, and half the country would be walking around 130 pounds, man. It'd be 6-7 dudes walking around 130 pounds.
Comment below if you've ever taken a honey pack. I've never taken a honey pack. If I were to take a honey
I don't
pack,
even know
I
what
would
that
be jumping
is.
off the walls in every single room. I might just like fly to the moon if I took a honey pack. I ain't take a honey pack.
Fellas, don't get no crazy ideas. But you know what it does to your
But
outward
to help
appearance,
goddamn
we can all
get rid
see,
of some
except
severe
for with your
fucking
products.
pain.
That's something we just learned now. But it's a whole bunch of side effects
Right,
that are
fucking give it a
unseen
go.
that we are just figuring out right now.
You thought Ozempic base was bad? That was just a distraction.
Trial.
Wait till you hear this. A massive study with 16 million users found that these people were 9 times more likely to get pancreatitis. Our taking care of many people with pancreatitis is painful, expensive, and it really sucks. That is not just a common little side effect. They also had a 4 times greater risk of bowel obstruction and 3.5 times risk of stomach paralysis. What you're hearing on the news about this is too little, too late. But somehow the conversation keeps getting reduced to celebrity before and after pictures and their saggy skin. Why is that? Because if people in the media started asking harder questions, like what happens when you chemically force the body to stop eating so much by slowing digestion? It's because these conversations get really uncomfortable really
So
fast.
they're just
But here's
basically
part
full
that
of
should
shit.
really make you stop scrolling. While the public and the media were celebrating this miracle breakthrough, major financial institutions are projecting this category to just explode. I'm talking a 10x explosion here, from $5 billion in 2020 to $50 billion in 2030.
I told ya.
Tens of billions of dollars, and for who
That's-
exactly? This isn't just a health trend, this is an economic gold rush. So ask yourself this. If the money behind these drugs is potentially that massive, do you really think the media is going to investigate any little side effect? Do you think they'll really look at any long-term side effect?
Double
or
their
every person
profit
experiencing
5
problems?
years.
Or
I don't
keep
think
cashing
that's
in
very
and keep selling the drink?
explosive.
I'm not saying this can't help people. It absolutely
Not with
can
the way
help
they
people.
run
Pretending
shit
there's
today.
No major side effects while profits skyrocket into the billions. That's just insane. You want to know the craziest part? Almost nobody is talking about
Yeah.
why people are struggling with these problems in the first place. Struggling
Some
with
of these
food poisoning,
cocksuckers can
cravings,
double
and
their money
obesity,
in
and type 2 diabetes. Why do you have
5
insulin
minutes.
resistance and metabolic dysfunction? Now that should be the real conversation. It's because fixing the root cause is far less profitable than just managing the symptoms,
Ugh.
and realizing that should bother you.
So
More
now
than
that
double
time has
it.
passed a little bit, we're starting to see pancreas problems with people after prolonged use. These drugs nowadays are wild, and I'm gonna tell you at
Money
the end of this
magic.
video an observation that I made that's going to show you exactly why I think these drugs are so dangerous, and you probably agree with me. It's an observation that you probably didn't make. But
So, hey,
there
though,
go a handful more of complications
I
that you
want-
would get from messing with these
I want an end.
GLP-1s.
Somebody allow me to rehypothecate my money.
So, I want to share something different. This isn't about mindset. I actually want to share my experience with peptides. So basically, I started taking GHKCU, which
Yeah,
is
that's
a
what I want.
peptide. Of it.
I'm gonna be able to put money in my bank account and see, I could create money, create what? 10 times what I put in there, as long as I have like a 10% reserve, which I don't even think the banks have reserves anymore. I think they got rid of the reserves, but yeah. But I'd settle, 10% reserve to create money. I mean, if the bank is create, if they're selling my deposits and making a profit, increasing their money from my deposit, where's my fucking share? Let's see what. Shit.
Basically take it at my own risk. After about 2 months, I noticed my cycle was a bit different. It was getting shorter. And then I went to Japan for a holiday. And when I was flying home from Japan, I got my period early. I'm on the flight, and basically my period pain is so bad. I got up to go to the bathroom, and I blacked out. I literally blacked out. The pain was so bad, it was shooting down my legs and up my stomach. A few weeks later, same thing happened again. I was curled over in my bed for a couple of hours. I could not move. I was in the same amount of pain. I went to my doctor, I got some scans done, and with the ultrasound results, I was diagnosed with ovarian cysts. And in my left ovary, I had some endometriosis, which I've never had in my life. I have always been a very regular period girl. I've never had any issues with my cycles. My cycle has always been very healthy. So this was very different for me. Mind you, I'd also had a scan done the year prior, and in that scan I had no endometriosis, no cysts, nothing. So I know 12 months ago I didn't have any issues, and I also never have in my life. So I started to do my own research, and I thought, what have I changed in order to cause this? And the only thing I had done was take the GHKCU peptide. I just researched, can higher levels of copper in the body affect my cycle? It said higher levels of copper in the body affect the liver from detoxifying estrogen, and estrogen is what endometriosis is made up of. It's higher levels of estrogen in the ovaries, which builds up that tissue of endometriosis. That proved to me that me taking the GHKCU had affected my liver from detoxifying estrogen, which therefore caused the endometriosis and possibly the cysts. So I guess I'm just posting this to say, if you've ever had endo, if you've ever had any cycle issues, just think people need to do their research. Again, take this as you will. Maybe if you've had a similar experience, comment below. I think people do need to share these stories. If you can avoid doing that to yourself, you absolutely should. I'm not going to take it again, obviously.
I'm no OB.
I'm telling y'all, when it comes to injecting things in your body when you don't need to, there's 100%.
That's why you should stick with cocaine.
That's the thing, like, what's the motive?
We know the side effects of cocaine.
Am I able to
No
get
surprises.
the goal that I want without doing it? And honestly speaking, I believe every single person can. Now, there are certain peptides that will, like, freaking, like, make your muscles just freaking bulge out like crazy, like, but then, like, also at the same time, I feel like the rewarding aspect of working out is knowing that, like, yo, I put, you know what I'm saying, I put hella work in for this, and then you get it naturally. But that's just my perspective, because I know people take steroids and all that other stuff. That's just not something that I would be doing.
GYN, I just allow people to tell their stories, and I would just imagine to myself, that's a side effect that they really wouldn't want to be advertising to the general public like that. So like I said, if you are on these medications and you're thinking about taking these medications, this is just something for you to think about. But the side effect list goes on. The side effects don't just stop there. Some side effects you can have for life.
I just left the doctor's office. I went to get a checkup because I've been off of Ozempic for 2 months now, and I just wanted to see if my body was in better.
They with the fucking strength, a lot of strength. The strongest motherfuckers out there. They're not built like these fucking steroid junkies. It's actually tendon strength combined with muscle is, we get some incredibly strong men. By increasing their tendon strength. It's where you see a lot of these guys that can pick up motherfucking household appliances and carry them around like they're children. Or even several times their body weight. Oh my God.
The Americans are bragging about 12 straight nights of attacks. The Iranians respond to each and every one of those attacks. You can see the bases right underneath the O of Jordan. There is Muwafaq al-Salti, key strategic airbase that the United States has been using both as a shield for Israel, but also to project over to Iran for this war. We're going to watch a ballistic missile land at Muwafaq al-Salti.
Yeah, that's probably your clue. Get the fuck out of there.
So that is the chaos after
you
a
just
Friday
went
strike
inside
at
of it?
Muwafaq al-Salti. It was one of a number of strikes on that base. The U.S. admitted that 3 people were killed. One of those strikes at Muwafaq al-Salti. These are strikes reported by American soldiers, and this is really the only way we can get this kind of footage.
Away from the buildings. They're targeting buildings. I'm certainly not going to fucking go hide it, wood.
Watch this one here coming in, and you can tell that it's coming for them because of the trajectory of it. You see how it seems like it came from the bottom.
Wow.
So these are very significant strikes, and the warhead on these weapons is comparable to the warheads that the Israelis and the Americans dropped themselves. The Americans are bragging about 12 straight nights of attacks. The Iranians respond to each and every one of those attacks. You can see the bases right underneath the O of Jordan. There is Muwafaq al-Salti, key strategic air base that the United States has been using both as a shield for Israel, but also to project over to Iran for this war. We're going to watch a ballistic missile land at Muwafaq al-Salti.
What are you having to fire 1,500 goddamn missiles at this base?
So that is the chaos after a Friday strike at Muwafaq al-Salti. It was one of a number of strikes on that base.
This is the supervisory board.
Just a few days ago, China launched a rocket straight into a thunderstorm, and just 30 seconds after launch, it was struck by lightning. This has to be the coolest photo I have ever seen. But I thought NASA scrub launches all the time because of bad weather. How can China's rocket just fly straight up into a thunderstorm? Well, they used to. Apollo 12 got struck by lightning twice on its way to the moon, and ever since then they've had rules in place that banned launching into bad weather like this. In 1987, a rocket was struck in the same way, and it flipped a single bit in the rocket's guidance computer. Just one switch out of millions, and the rocket tore itself apart in the sky. And yet, China launched anyway, and the satellite that it was carrying made it into orbit. It's a relay satellite for their space station, and yeah, they have their own space station just like the ISS. People have been living on it non-stop for 4 years now. It's about to double in size. And it gets even crazier. Just 2 weeks ago, they caught a rocket booster in a net on a ship that was floating out at sea. China had 93 rocket launches just last year. The race back to the moon is officially on.
Right now, 500,000 peach trees are being ripped out of the ground and then set on fire. And it's largely because of one company.
Del Monte, known for its canned fruits and vegetables, has filed for bankruptcy.
The nearly 140-year-old company recently initiated bankruptcy proceedings, leaving cultivators with a whole lot of fruit they can't sell.
On July 1st, 2025, Del Monte declared bankruptcy, but they still told their farmers that their contracts were safe. They told them they were going to be able to sell the company and everything would be okay. But that turned out not to be the case.
Now, workers tell us that they're still in a state of shock after finding out this news.
We never thought the name Del Monte would go away, ever. We thought that was kind of guaranteed.
The cost from losing all of these contracts with growers is going to total over $500 million.
Yeah, and now the USDA is giving farmers $9 million to rip up their peach orchards and convert to a different crop. I'm bringing you this story not just because it's shocking, but because I believe that it might represent a major shift in where our food is grown.
Yeah, the fuck is sick factories.
You know, it's getting bad when a farmer said he hasn't seen a single bee nearby since a data center was built. But now it's getting outright dystopian that another Texas farmer claimed every calf since a data center arrived has been stillborn, meaning they have no signs of life. Clayton Tucker, who is running for Texas Agriculture Commissioner, shared the rancher's story at a public meeting. They believe the low-frequency hum and vibration from a nearby energy facility are causing his cows to now sleep by the road. A similar story comes from Bell County, Texas. Fowler Farms reports that since the construction of a $700 million data center within 5
miles
of its property, it's emitting constant noise, including low-frequency sound that's audible to animals but not humans. He says this is preventing them from breeding and can cause grown cattle to lose roughly 30% of body weight. The scariest part.
Yeah, that's how the media, that's how it works. (1982) Titanic survivor Ruth Becker given an interview where she stated the ship broke into. Well, her fucking testimony ain't worth shit. The treasurer of the Titanic Historical Society actually took the microphone away from her and said that she had been mistaken. 3 years later, they found the shipwreck split in two.
Check this out. Check this out.
I do brain surgery for a living, so I know a thing or two about the organ I handle every single day. I have a brain health protocol called 10 Commandments for Brain Health, which I follow to protect my own. They all start with yes, super. Number 1, sleep 7 to 8 hours. This is when your brain washes out the waste linked to dementia. Non-negotiable for me. Second is sunlight. 10 minutes of morning light sets your brain clock. Better mood, better sleep tonight. The third is squats. Leg strength is linked to brain health as you age. Your legs pump blood and signals upward to your brain. Fourth is strength training. Lifting twice a week is associated with a bigger memory center. Muscle protects mind. Fifth is supplements. Only what you are deficient in. B12, B, omega-3s. Test first. More is not better. Sixth, yes, socialization. Loneliness is linked to faster brain shrinkage. One real conversation a day is medicine. Now seventh is skill set. Learn something new and awkward. A language.
Everything. Okay, I was fucking good.
Fauci. Dr. Fauci, science itself, science himself, is currently at the Rona hearing in the US, although he's not saying much, but because that's going on, I thought I'd take the opportunity to bring this up. Because it's official, you guys. The experts, the scientists, they've all got together and looked down their microscope. Wow, that's a bunch of kashish, I like this one. And they've looked down the microscopes and they've seen a what a kashish, but forget about that because this is serial. They've looked down the microscope and they've all concluded, and it's official. We, not all of us apparently, but at least half of us need to die to save the planet. Okay. That's right. Yeah. And why? Really? Do we even really need to say at this point? I mean, it's the big subject, isn't it? Yeah? Devastating heat effects. Somewhat, you mean?
Yeah.
No, I do not. I mean devastating heat effects. Yeah? All of it. Doesn't matter. Yeah. It doesn't matter whether pollution is up or down. Saw something saying that recently, that pollution's come right down because pollution is down. It's creating even more devastating heat effects. But wasn't it because pollution was up that it was causing that? Doesn't matter, you see, guys. There's the microscope, there's the kijij. The experts have got together. Science himself maybe was involved. I don't know whether Fauci was involved in this. He looks quite busy at the minute, although he's not saying much. At least half of us need to die. Okay? It's basically as simple as that. And I wonder if it's the same scientists and experts who have been so keen to save us as well, you know, because these were people who just think just that little bit more critically were thinking like, These people really do want to save me, do they? Because they also talk about things like depopulation and studies like this that require half of the world's population to die. But they want to save me with a vaccine, with a jibby-jabola. That don't quite sound right. But nah, it's alright. Boosters ahead! Woo-hoo-hoo!
Yep.
You gotta love the experts.
You know what? I really don't want to listen more about it. Fuck him.
Has entered the most dangerous phase. Now inflation raging on for far too long now. And if you're a central bank, you need to fight higher prices decisively. But we just got the complete opposite of that. Now the Fed just chickened out on fighting inflation, and Kevin Walsh just dropped a bombshell on markets today.
Today, as you know, our committee decided to vote by a 9-3 vote to maintain the target range for the federal funds rate at 3.5% to 3.75%. The committee is continuing its policy of making ample reserves in the banking system.
Math
the
on the cost of
economy is
living.
showing impressive resilience. Even with recent shocks, the trends are positive and reveal solid growth.
And let's put it completely plain right now. The Fed does not dare raise rates because it would destroy the economy. Now they have chosen the path towards higher and persistent inflation instead. And that is exactly what Trump wants them to do. They have to keep inflating everything or the entire economy simply collapses. Now interest rates today are stuck at 3.75% and they are going nowhere fast. And it's going to be higher for much longer than anyone wants. But can we tolerate another 6 to 9 months of this before everything breaks? And just because the Fed did not hike rates does not mean we are safe. Now the US economy is so hyper-financialized that even a rate pause is dangerous. And that is why Walsh did not dare push rates up by just 25 basis points. Now money will get more expensive and unravel the entire US growth plan. And that plan is expensive. That plan is the AI build-up happening right now. Now big tech companies are planning to spend insane amounts of money. And just between Microsoft, Amazon and Alphabet alone, $500 billion are being committed to data centers. But these very same hyperscalers are pulling the stock market lower. Investors are really deeply skeptical and they're selling off all these names hard. The AI race does not make sense when compute costs keeps dropping and Chinese competition keeps wrapping up at the exact same time. And that's why the Fed cannot be seen pulling the trigger. Now if Walsh hikes by just 25 basis points on the short end, everything is going to reprice immediately. Now if investors see rates rise even slightly, they're going to demand high compensation for holding US paper. They will demand it for the 10, 20 and 30 year notes as well. Now if treasury borrowing costs rise, borrowing costs for everyone is going to rise as well. Not just hyperscalers but ordinary Americans applying for mortgages and loans. This would cascade directly into a complete credit freeze across the entire US economy. People will simply borrow much less and spending is going to drop hard everywhere. Now this will only break the entire economic system. As for the regional Fed presidents who all voted directly against the pause, all of them wanted 25 basis points at least or in the rate hikes. Why? Because inflation has been well over the 2% target for over 5 years now.
This week's episode is sponsored by Change. Change is the #1 mentoring program that teaches you e-commerce from scratch. Change has a real community with real results.
Because it got that bad, I just used to get up and take me.
You can now follow me on all my social media platforms to find out who my latest guest will be. And don't forget to click the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you're notified for when my next podcast
Oh,
goes
shut
live.
up with that.
And boom, we're on.
And today's guest, we've got Molly Simpson. Molly, how are we?
I am very well, thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming on the show. I seen you on my very good friends podcast, Tony Morell, The Good, The Bad, The Ugly.
Yep.
For people, go and check it out. Good friend of mine, great guy, great podcast.
Yes.
Very fascinating story.
You see? Well, we come back, listen to that.
We got a new leaked petition filed by Donald Trump to the United States Supreme Court to try to wriggle his way out from under the amount of money, $83.5 million, running with interest that he owes E. Jean Carroll, his sex abuse survivor. She already obtained the $5.8 million that ran with interest for the first trial against him, in which she proved that she was sexually abused by him in front of a New York federal jury 9-0. This case has to do with the second trial about comments he made when he was president the first time from the Rose Garden and other places where he continued to defame her, and the punitive damage award by a second federal jury, also 9-0, also in New York. Now, when they got that judgment against Donald Trump, he was not yet president. He didn't become president the second time till more than a year later. And yet he argues that he should get the benefit of both the court's criminal immunity protection that was provided to him by the Supreme Court in 2024 and the protection of a second type of immunity we call Westfall immunity that all federal employees enjoy as long as they are within
pardon all the goddamn criminals, because
problem for Donald Trump is that Alina Habba and his trial counsel at the time never raised presidential immunity at any time and didn't raise Westfall immunity until 15 months after the jury verdict and judgment against him, and only because he became president again. And that's called waiver, that's called foot dragging, that's called too late. Now that petition is up now at the United States Supreme Court. I'll read to you from some arguments made in the leaked version that's come out to the press. That is going to be considered by the Supreme Court in its next term, which starts the first Monday in October, and probably a decision by the end of next summer, which means 82-year-old E. Jean Carroll has justice delayed again. But I don't think ultimately, I think she wins ultimately, and I'll tell you why here on this hot take. Look, justice doesn't sleep. Protecting the rule of law doesn't sleep or take a holiday.
Oh, shut up.
And neither can I on Michael Popak traveling. But here for you on Legal AF. Take a moment.
Nothing like this has ever happened at this scale.
Nose gave it away.
Century, where you clearly the U.S. government or elements within the U.S. government are trying to destroy global energy markets, which, as you said at the very outset, is a 1-to-1 correlation to the strength of the economy, GDP. So, like, why would you wipe out civilization? Why are you trying to do that? Like, what is this?
All right, well, for what it's worth, my ponderings, and I reserve the right to change this in 10 minutes, but here's what I came up with. So, back in 2016, there was this cheesy little WEF video, right? And the first thing was, you'll own nothing and be happy, and that got a lot of airtime.
Famous,
right?
Yes.
Yeah, number 4 was, you'll eat less meat. And here we are with, like, alpha-gal ticks running around and, hamburger at $7 a pound. And then, but number 8 was the one that caught me the most, because this one really bothered me. And number 8 was, by 2030, Western values will have been tested to the breaking point. Now, why Western values? Why not Chinese values? Why not African values, And ever since then, I've had this strong sense that my country is under attack, right? Kids don't know, they're confused about gender. We don't even have a border anymore. The pillars of everything, like morality, like you got Pete Hegseth saying it's totally okay to take boats in the Caribbean as long as we suspect they're running drugs, just summarily execute them. These are not Christian values. They're not my Western values.
They're not Western values. We only punish the guilty. Period. That's the essence of Western values. You punish the guilty, you spare the innocent. You don't kill innocent people. That's why we're different from Stalin's Russia and from the Mongols, and like that is the West. That's why we're different from Israel, which is not part of the West. So yeah, that's I've never heard that before. Can you restate that in the World Economic Forum 2016?
You put this little video out.
Yep. And it's Western values will be tested to the breaking point.
And so, people's, I'm this kind of a guy. if somebody says they're going to do something and then it happens, I'm thinking maybe they did it. It's just how I'm constructed in this story. So
that's a legal principle.
Well, it's something I live by, but this has been, just watching this unfold. So on the one hand, this is all just errors of judgment and late stage empire, and things rot and fall apart. Okay. On the other hand, you say it's just too deliberate. So in my community at Peak Prosperity, we have a framework we use. We call it the Easy Hard framework, right? Developed by one of my subscribers. And so here it goes like this: if something's easy, well, the elites want it, and if it's hard, they don't really want it. So I've been astonished at how easy it was for these flock cameras to suddenly appear everywhere. 100,000 of them, every one of them requiring municipal decisions. I work in the local town offices down here in my spare time. Nothing's easy at this level, but somehow 100,000 cameras went up, and that's all about invading our right to privacy, right? Our sense of privacy, Fourth Amendment, just to be secure in my person from searches and seizures, and somehow that was easy. Now, if on my farm I wanted to dig a pond, which would support life, and if you dig a hole in the ground and water goes in it, everything shows up magically, that would be very hard. It would be super hard, right? If I wanted to do that, that'd be very hard. But if I wanted to go down to Home Depot and buy pesticides and spray them all over my property, go for it. How much? Have at it. So I kind of feel like this easy hard framework, when I start looking at it this way, the easy stuff is the stuff that's not affirming of life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, everything I hold dear. And the hard stuff is stuff that actually makes life better, right? I was in the COVID thing. I was full-on warrior. I worked with Pierre Corey and Paul Merrick and the FLCCC, and I'm still on the board at the IMA, and the people are just like, look, I just use this repurposed, cheap, very safe drug like doctors have always used. If they choose to use something off patent, fine. And that was very hard. The whole weight of the system came down on them. Oh, you want to put people on ventilators and give them remdesivir with an upwards of 85% kill rate? Easy, rewarded. And so you just notice this over and over again. And then you finally get to, I think, the last great thing to skewer here is that we have markets. They're free, they're fair, they're trustworthy, maybe imperfect, but they're where honest participants come to set prices amongst each other in a fair and open way. And that's just not the case anymore, and it hasn't been for a while.
That's the final black pill for me. It was one thing to discover that, Building 7 probably didn't just fall in on itself because it had airplane parts on the roof, or that multiple people were involved in the Kennedy assassination. Okay, those truths dawned gradually for me. But markets take place on the basis of the most simple and self-evident principle in life. It's almost like a principle of nature, supply and demand, and they take place transparently, or so I thought. It's really hard as an American to accept the fact that markets, and I think I speak for many when I say this, are fake.
Todd Blanche is up for confirmation as Attorney General personally.
Nobody needs
so
your
I pressed
fucking
him for it.
introduction.
So, who wrote this?
I don't know the person that actually typed it. I don't know who it is.
Was it one of the president's lawyers, or was it someone from the Justice Department or IRS?
This document would have been somebody within the Department of Justice.
Well, you have no idea who that is.
I don't know the name of the person that typed
And
it up.
so there he is admitting that he doesn't even know who wrote this settlement, this IRS provision that he alone signed. It wasn't signed by any IRS official. So let's dive into this incredible tax giveaway to Donald Trump, signed for by his former criminal defense lawyer, Todd Blanche, which reveals just what a sick...
I think the Democrats are going to take the House at 26, which I support. I'm telling my people, vote Democrat. We want the Democrats.
Okay, so get this. The same billionaire, GOP mega donor Paul Singer, who donated millions of dollars to oust Thomas Massie. Remember, Massie is the only Republican to vote no on giving billions of dollars to Israel. And Paul Singer is a devout Zionist and major supporter of Israel. He's now funding a Democrat Haley Stevens in the Michigan Democratic primary through a group called the United Democracy Project. Quote, the largest individual donor to UDP is billionaire Paul Singer, who served on the board of directors for the Republican Jewish Coalition. Why is this happening, you might ask? Well, check this out.
And in the United States Congress, I will continue to fight for the people of Israel. I will continue to fight for Israel's existence. Israel comes to me in my dreams. I see Israel's future.
Yeah, Nick, I don't think we're going to be able to vote our way out of this one. I think...
Well, there's actually a better history, a record of the politics being over. That is a tragic hope. The history of how the bankers dominated the world. And I'm sorry, but did they just surrender their ability to print money and direct governments of what laws they wanted passed? Or I'm sure they really don't give a fuck about the laws as far as it comes, because they're not accountable to any of them. I mean, I'll share the quotes. There's many in there about their work within politics, controlling politics through the money, and it's fucking obvious. It's in your face, especially today. Like it's always been in our faces. Ooh, I don't know what the fuck's wrong with people. Thinking about the whole situation and mankind's reaction just depresses the fuck out of me. But it's also, oh, I'm willing to fight, I'm fight. But the fight starts with paper, you know. With these fuckers just wait for it to come to their front door, and they still will surrender, you know. What did I do wrong this time? What did I do wrong this time? I blame God. He shouldn't have designed man so fucking idiotic. He should give us a fucking memory or something, and not just the shit we've learned. But hell, that's even so fallible. Because how much shit you've learned in your lifetime that you forgot, that you don't even remember, you've forgotten. It's just flawed. Then to uncover the history of thousands of years of the laws as they evolved. It's an established fact that cocksuckers in power have made slavery legal every fucking portion of human history. The only thing happening today is people have not discovered the conversion, and the conversion happens by legal deception with plausible deniability. They actively engage in a war against our best interest. and yet claim otherwise. They won't declare their fucking war. They won't declare you as a fucking enemy. Why? Because that was a fucking line in the sand. And it makes things too fucking obvious. It might wake people up out of their fucking stupor and realize, oh shit, we're battling against legal fictions, and they really ain't got a leg to fucking stand on. Morally, no. And neither does anyone willing to fucking support it. So if you're willing to fight and you want to give your life to support the fucking tyranny, be our fucking guest. Because I guarantee you, when the mass majority, they ever understood that fucking reality, that fact that is this world, it'd be a different fucking game entirely. With no bunker, save none of these motherfuckers. Because they might give the order to fire the missiles, but ain't nobody gonna follow that fucking order. We wouldn't be over dropping mobs now if we had anybody walking around with any fucking sense in their fucking head. People are resign from their position, or he sent a tweet, I guess I'm fired, and just go like, what the fuck are y'all doing? That's not how you any of this works. It's not how any of this works. And yet people are just doing the dumbest shit. I think the reason why the military won't do anything about it and sit there and follow lawful orders is because probably a lot of dirt he could spill. If he was to stand trial, they would have to Jeffrey Epstein his ass, wouldn't they? But what does that involve? Is that if he was threatening them, if he's threatening out people, I'm sure that would involve death, but it wouldn't have been in a jail cell. They would have yanked his ass, and it would have been a special slow fucking death on that one. But if it was anything other, it was like, okay, you're going to retirement. Here's your new name, your new assignment. They have, he was doing business with one of the men in the American banknote company, the company that prints the birth and death certificates. Not to mention the fucked up way they just, where do you start? There are so many fucked up things that happen that, and yet out of every fucked up thing that played out, well, it's just a conspiracy theory. It's a conspiracy theory that all this fucked up shit would happen. It is just normal, lawful, and fucking, it just, no one fucking help. I don't upset about it. Yeah, this is the lawful authority. They're legit, honest, honorable. They're none of it. It wouldn't take fucking 3 seconds to fucking prove it. Now, question them on the bankruptcy of America, because apparently that never happened, even though congressional records are full of the investigations surrounding it, the charges of treason, conspiracy, what the fuck ever. I'm sick of it. I'm so fucking sick of it.